Was Spring 2025 anime actually the best anime as a lot of people claim to say? No, it was a mixed bag. It was perfectly fine. I had a few shows I absolutely loved, a few shows we'll get into, but I watched a lot of shows, and this is the full compilation of my own humble opinion. Go from worst to very best. The worst shows, only a few sentences. The best, almost a light review. Let's just dive in to those shows I couldn't even finish. Number 26. The Shinjunji Family Children. Nah, just because they aren't blood related doesn't mean they're not family. It's got that weird undertone that, I'm not gonna touch. 2 out of 10. Everyday host. Hosts funny. Not me. 3 out of 10. Number 24. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? Your Honor, I present you Exhibit A, Exhibit B, and Exhibit C. I rest my case. 3 out of 10. Number 23. The Dinner Table Detective. If the detectives are so good, why does the butler solve everything? 4 out of 10. Number 22. Your Forma. AIA brain diving. No, it's not Ghost in the Shell, but with like some extra steps of cyborgs killing people and going crazy. Now stop asking. 4 out of 10. Number 21. Summer Pockets. Alright, full disclosure, I was pretty EP when I first watched this the first time. I tried it again, and it felt even slower. Weird. I don't know if I somehow actually fell asleep again. Don't think so. I did see Homeboy arrive on the island, walk around, and he ate. 5 out of 10. Okay, so from here on out, I watched everything to the very end. We've got 20 shows to get into. We do not cover 24 episode long series. We just review the front half, so anything like Apothecary Diaries isn't going to be in this list. Yes, it's probably like number 1 and number 2. Oh, and if you're enjoying this video so far, or you want to see more of these, please do like and subscribe. Let's dive back into the list with number 20, the Gorilla God's go-to girl. A shy poor girl that's also smart gets herself into an elite academy. Same old, but this one is different. In this world, people get the powers of animals, and she gets the gorilla. So that means she's the strongest in the world. It's also a hijinks school show. What did you expect? 5 out of 10. Number 19. Once Upon a Witch's Death. The sheer fact that this witch will die if she doesn't help people to the point of happy tears is wild. The fact that we don't see a vast majority of her accomplishments is frankly insane. 6 out of 10. Number 18. The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. Perhaps a generational talent healer from the slums who breaks all the laws of healing just because he wants to chill and help people for a price, finds himself involved in a mystery that he doesn't care for. He's pretty relatable for being involved in work drama, but you just don't want to hear about it. 6 out of 10. Number 17. The Beginning After the End. Alright, so this is going to piss some people off. Arthur as a character and the story in general is above average. Everything else around it leaves a lot to be desired. We're watching an action show, but it's showcased like a visual novel animation, which, if you're the wrong person, this is going to be far more scorched earth for you. For me, 6 out of 10. Number 16. Catch Me at the Ballpark. This show reminds me a lot of Working, but it's set in a ballpark rather than a restaurant. The two leads offer great perspective as one as a worker and one from the public views in a seemingly normal place that has a lot more going on in the background. If you like baseball or slice of life or just general like office working sort of dynamics, you'll probably like this. 6.5 out of 10. Number 15. A ninja and an assassin under one roof. What if a ditzy but highly lovable ninja, who only has one ability to turn objects into leaves, somehow found herself on an escape mission to leave her village, only for her to not have the first clue on how to survive in the real world, meets an assassin who uses her ability to strike up a deal. You can live with me and do all the chores, and pretty much that's it. A lot of slapsticks, two polar opposites come to need each other more than just for work. 6.5 out of 10. The Mononoke ledger logs of Chuzehei Sensei. He just solves all the mysteries. Set right after World War II, a young high school student gets involved with mysteries, leading to her not wanting to, but having to teach her for assistance in solving the mysteries. She also gradually becomes his protege, and what mostly surprised me, I actually enjoyed it, and it had a surprising amount of depth surrounding the small town and exposing far more mysteries and improving oneself. That self-discovery isn't just a one-tick box thing, especially in anime. 7 out of 10. All right, next few are going to be the travel thing. Go watch my video here if you're remotely interested in a far more deep dive. But number 12, Zetsu Tabi. That's the journey. Learning to explore, travel, and using it as a vessel to not only know the world better, but yourself. Chika, a struggling upcoming manga artist, does just this. It was so successful in attracting local and international audiences that the manga artist was actually involved in tourism events. And I personally have a lot of places I want to go and see just due to this show. 7 out of 10. Number 11, Food for the Soul. I love that opening. Food and company can take you back to a moment. A dish can be a time capsule of our memory. University life is difficult and making friends even harder, especially as we get older. But the show proves that not only getting out of one's comfort zone sometimes need a little support, and traveling can help instill those memories and friendship you won't forget. 7.5 out of 10. Number 10, Mono. Yeah, traveling is all good, but what if you also love nature on your travels? Mono has 3 high school girls, a manga artist, and her degenerate YouTube motorcycle traveling friend exploring the sights, sounds, and nature, using it as a backdrop of high school and photography and videography. But again, those previously mentioned real places are very much a place you can go. There's even people that have documented their journeys. I saw this guy on Reddit. It's a fantastic show that just goes that extra mile to really make you fall in love with the characters. 7.5 out of 10. Also, I'm not gonna lie, Mono could probably be higher. I just wanted to keep them all together. Number 9, Go-Go Loser Ranger, Season 2. Just when I thought I understand what was going on, I actually had zero clue. What held true is that it's very much like Super Sentai, and that it's based on you're never really sure what's gonna happen between each episode. Twists, betrayal, and even love come up in these episodes. And while we don't have another season confirmed, I really hope we're sort of getting something, because this story is really at a precipice point, and if we don't get a conclusion, greatly disappointed. It's getting a 6.5 out of 10 for now, but it could easily go down to a 5 if we actually don't get a conclusion, because it's that important. Number 8, Kowloon, Generic Romance. Kowloon is a rather difficult anime to pin down. In a slight future from our own, in a rebuilt and destroyed again city of the very once real Kowloon World City, it asks the question of what is reality? Can you truly escape grief? What does it mean to be you, and to learn from your past that you don't even remember? A lucid dream of a show that had me speculating at the end of each episode, hypothesizing and incredibly thought-provoking. Sadly, a little lackluster towards the end. 7.5 out of 10. Number 7, To Be Hero X. What does it actually mean to be a hero? What does it mean to save somebody else and to be the one that others look up to? To Be Hero X is that origin story of the world's top 10 heroes in this world. How can anyone rise to the very top? From an animation marketing worker remodeled into the hero of hope, to a seemingly unlucky singer with a tragic past who lost everything she loved and new. Being a hero isn't glamorous as one expects. The time and effort that goes into becoming the sign of hope. But that limelight can also corrupt others, or those others might not feel like passing on the torch. The analogy is obviously very on the nose with heroes to celebrities in our own real world. Being the ones that in times of need, or those that help us forget. 7.5 out of 10. Number 6. The Too Perfect Saint, tossed aside by my fiancé and sold to another kingdom. To be the one who can save a kingdom. Almost regardless of appearances, you would expect the kingdom to honor and respect that person. In a world where saints are women blessed by the gods, to protect others from evil of the world and to spread wonder and awe. Philia is this kingdom's saint, regarded by some to be the reincarnation of the perfect saint who saved the world from the demon king. However, she's thrown out by her kingdom and her parents and forced to serve a new kingdom. Her younger sister Maya, the only person who actually ever showed her love and kindness in her life without expecting anything in return, is horrified and makes it her life mission to get to the root of the problem and why her sister, who saved this kingdom without asking anything in return, was thrown out. And how will Philia deal with the unknown kingdom aside from just being in a new environment? I loved this show way more than I was expecting from the title, and it touches on a lot of far deeper topics. Highly recommend this if you enjoy that kind of high fantasy, saints fighting evil. It's a very good time capsule little story, and it's all self-contained, so no second season's coming. Thank God. 7.5 out of 10. All right, so final 5 are about to come up. If you are enjoying this video, please do like and subscribe. It really does help the algorithm. And I also understand I have missed a few of the very big shows a lot of people are expecting. I'm sorry, probably put them in here. This is probably the place. You're also going to be feeling wild about my top 5. So let me know what you think about them in the comments down below. Number 5, Anne Shirley. So we're halfway deep into this show. What this show also, more than anything, showcased was how much of an uncultured swine I am. I wasn't even aware that this was actually based on a novella by Lucy Maud Montgomery in 1908. That uncultured swine revelation that I came to, Anne Shirley is the tale and lifetimes of the fictional character of Anne Shirley of Green Gables, a young girl into a young adult. The trials and errors of being a child, causing mischief and learning from one's mistakes, while also seemingly having an incredibly large vocabulary. All while coming from an inherently sad childhood, losing her family, and now making a new life for herself. Tackled with the unbound positivity that Anne possesses and creating stories that live in the hearts and minds of others. A magnificent show that is rooted in the very real human journey around coming of age and putting a positive spin even when things feel hopeless. Anne always somehow pushes forward. 8 out of 10. Number 4, Witch Watch. Nico is a witch that just finished her 6 years in training and has just returned to her hometown in search of a familiar, which she had already picked out before she had even left, to be her childhood friend, Mori, who happens to also be an ogre. Mori is vehemently against being her servant or familiar, but reluctantly accepts his fate. Seems like the adults in his life and her life had already pre-agreed to everything. While there are countlessly long plot lines, and I could see this show being the sort of thing that goes on for years, spanning countless seasons and films, it's rather strong in also telling bottle episodes or short stories and self-contained, while referencing back to gags with actual restraint, constantly pushing the main story forward. Very well written, fantastically acted, and animation with passion to its source material, leaning into rather demanding areas, such as when they decided to make the whole opening ending for a fake anime that was only real within the universe of Witch Watch for half an episode. The devotion from this studio is honestly incredibly impressive, and I hope we'll see more than 26 episodes from this show. 8 out of 10. Number 3. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. If you asked me what I was expecting from this season, I thought this would be the most middle-of-the-road show. Below Mono, absolutely, especially due to me not knowing much of anything about it. But I was incredibly over the moon to be wrong. Beryl is a sword teacher in a small village, well respected for its teaching and taking in almost anybody willing to learn for any length of time. Time moves forward, and Beryl, while he once had aspirations of doing something bigger, he was also very content. However, one of his former students, Alicia, visits the village to inform him he's been appointed as the special instructor for the Knights of the Liberation Order. With his new life now being turned upside down, Beryl travels to the capital and reunites with some of his former students. A story on how an old dog can learn new tricks. And that's being put out of your comfort zone and being pushed to your own limits and exceeding even your own expectation. Rising to the occasion, and that life always has a way of surprising you. Perhaps it's starting a new family in the least expected way and imparting wisdom to those that you meet. Perhaps it's even realizing it. Filled with action, surprises, set pieces, and wonderful fantasy animation with a surprising amount of depth. 8 out of 10. Number 2, Lazarus. I know, people are very love-hate about this. I think this show's incredible, and it's set in the near future of 2080. Dr. Skinner created a groundbreaking painkiller called Hapna. With low costs and lack of any side effects, it gained widespread acceptance. Although it was only intended for adults, many children took it. However, 1 year after releasing Hapna, Skinner disappeared. And in 2052, Skinner announced that the shocking truth that Hapna had designed into a mutation, into a lethal toxin, killing anyone who consumed it. And while he claims to have a cure, he will only give it if he's found in 30 days. As such, a group of ragtags with distinct backgrounds, which are also slowly revealed as the story goes on, bound together by a government agency, find Skinner. That group's name? Lazarus. Yes, very on the nose, being brought back from the dead. Regardless, a frankly dystopian concept, but beautifully executed. The sheer terror that the world is ending unless one man is found. Obviously, there are also countless others looking for them and crossing paths with these other groups. But what was also so captivating is the sheer uniqueness of each episode. Not one plot was repeated. Not once was a concept reused. Countless genres and locations. Lazarus was one of the most experimental shows of this season, and frankly, it reminded me a lot of the show Eden of the East. Also, my humble opinion, the dub was better than the sub. I know, sue me! 8 out of 10. Number 1. Rock is a lady's modesty. All right, so is this actually the best show of 2025? Objectively, probably not. Personally, fuck yeah. Rock is a lady's modesty attacks the subject of living up to societal expectations of a young woman thrust into high society and the pressure placed on her. But it comes with making loyal peers, each with their own way of overcoming similar expectation. Ocean Girls Academy is a well-respected institute reserved for wealthy young ladies. Very few of its students excel enough to earn the title of Noble Maiden, awarded to those who employ the ideal Japanese woman of culture and refinement. Liliza Suzunomiya, a girl of common roots, has suddenly found herself as the daughter of the newly remanaged real estate mogul, and seeks to become Noble Maiden to prove that commoners like her can be noble as well. More for her mother, but we'll get into that. The most difficult challenge Lisa has to face in pursuit of this goal is abandoning her love of rock music to keep up the rich girl facade she must now wear. But her resolve crumbles once she comes across Otoha Kugugane, the daughter of the prominent politician, skillfully playing drums while rocking out in the abandoned school building. Despite initially being at odds, their embrace for music is a passion together, and they begin to lead a double life. Rock is a Lady's Modesty shows the depressing reality of being forced into a new family dynamic. Having a new younger sister who's suspicious and due to her own trauma has put up walls. That, until she's able to see her new sister for who she really is, ultimately comes to not only learn, but to admire her, but to love her, support her, and to stand up for her. And that a mother can love her with all of her heart, even wanting what's best for her child, will also break them down moment by moment. That while music is an art form, is also a form of self-expression. To let you go and to truly feel like themselves, Otoha, Lilisa, Tina, Takumi each need rock music, the band and each other, for seemingly different reasons. But through the power of music and artistic self-expression, they are free to be themselves, to fully release themselves from this facade, this mask, and to express who they really are, even if it's just for a moment, to move one another as well as those that see them on the stage. What I loved about this show is that if you're able to connect with the struggles of expectation, both placed upon you and by those around you, in that case, you will be able to gain a deeper connection, and that the appreciation that this show goes through. It's beautifully well made, both from the animation and the music, the CGI capture. The rabbit hole just goes so deep, and yeah, I probably should do a review in the coming weeks while it's still vaguely in the zeitgeist of anime. There is just so much, and it's so substantial. So if you want to hear that, please do subscribe, because this, in my opinion, was the best show of spring 2025. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What was your favorite show? Obviously, Rock is the Latest Modesty, as I said at the top of the review, is a 10 out of 10 for me. But what was yours? Remember, don't say any shows that continued. I know everyone's going to say Apothecary Diary, because yeah, I fully get that. Or if you have a different show that I didn't even feature on this list that I should go and watch, let me know about that as well. But with that all said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.